Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Rooted and Rising. My name is Cara Avery, and I am so excited for you to join me on this journey. This is a journey that has been really essentially long overdue. I've been talking about sharing more content. I contemplated starting a podcast. Um, I really wasn't sure about how I wanted to begin this journey. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to get out of my own way this year. And so here we are. We are here. We made it to Rooted and Rising. And I am so glad that you have joined the conversation. We are going to talk about love. We are going to talk about elevation. We are going to talk about purpose. We are going to talk about alignment. We are going to talk about so many beautiful conversations that have been really anchored into my growth, my healing, my roots, right? The things that have really helped me to be rooted into Great Mother and how I have begun to rise and elevate and what that journey has looked like. And I'm going to have some people, some amazing souls join me along the way to share their wisdom, right? Because this journey is really about sharing wisdom, sharing the real medicine. And the real medicine is the stories that we have within each one of us. And so I'm so excited that you are here. I don't know if I said my name at the beginning, but I am Cara Avery. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I know that was silly, but that's who I am. I am silly and I am joyful and I am a lover of all beautiful things and all beautiful experiences. And so I'm so excited to share this time with you. This has been a really interesting journey for me. With this first episode, I really want to talk about how I got here and why now. Because I know a lot of times individuals are like, oh, how did you get here? What is your why? What's important to you in this space? Why have you created this channel? What are you going to share with us? What are we going to take away? What are we going to walk away with? And I think it'll be a little bit of everything. You might get a little Risa Tisa moments in here. Shout out to her and her beautiful story and what she's been able to bring forward. You might be able to, really connect to some amazing people and stories that are like your own. And that is my hope, that you'll really see yourself and see what's possible for your own journey in what I share. Because I was always looking for specific content for different things that were happening in my life, especially in my younger generation, in my younger years. I definitely felt very alone and siloed in a lot of the things that I was experiencing. And now with the beautiful world of YouTube and the internet and all of the things, we have these spaces where people can learn, where they can chat with each other, where they can connect. But with that, we are also so disconnected, right? We're on our phones and we're not having, true, authentic conversations with one another. So I really want this to be a shared space. So as you continue to join me, I hope that you'll, number one, engage with all the content that I share. Check out all of my social media, because that's going to help me to influence and some of the conversations that we will have with each other. I think that in allowing to me to introduce myself, because I wear many, many hats like many individuals. I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a sister, and I am a global culture leader in the tech space. I am also a seeker, right, and a learner of spiritual knowledge. I would say I am a I think seeker is the best title for who I am, because I'm always trying to learn more. I'm always kind of seeking more information. I'm definitely a true seeker. I'm definitely a light worker. I try to em- embody all of these parts of me that just spread light out to everyone else. I am a revolutionary. I believe in out of the box thinking, but I believe in the freedom of our minds, because that is the freedom for all. And until we are all free, none of us are. And so I believe in some really, really strong revolutionary principles, as well as indigenous principles, because those are things that I kind of anchor a lot of my living upon. And I think that I'm a business owner. I have a online store called Census 2. And I will soon be opening up the Census 2 Wellness Studio. So I will be taking you along that journey with me as well. And we can talk about entrepreneurship and all the challenges that come with that. I am really in an infancy, and my store has been open a couple of years, and just kind of like the challenges that I faced in the process. And what a lot of entrepreneurs face is they're building something, as they're trying to grow something, as they're looking at what's important to them. And there's a lot of shifting, there's a lot of pivoting in those places. And a lot of times people talk about that, but it's really just shifting and changing and transformation, which we are all going through in a lot of different stages of our life. And so there's going to be a story here for everyone. Um, and my why I created Rooted and Rising was that I had been continually really pouring into others. And I found myself really um, missing something. And it was something that I felt building inside of me. And I kept saying, it's something building inside of me, and I need an outlet. I need to bring forward what's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like it felt like it was kind of stewing within me. It was just like a feeling. And me and a friend of mine, we call it the big. And the big within me just started to build. And it was just getting bigger and bigger and more undeniable. And so I say, you know what? I've got to take this leap. I've got to share this part of me. And it's scary, y'all. I am not going to hold you. This is completely outside of my comfort zone. There was a long time that I continually said that I wanted to just be behind the scenes. And that we'll dig into that later, because that was brought on. That's not who I was formerly, in my upbringing, and I would call it the freedom era, when you are in between the ages of 1 and probably 7 or 8 years old. You are in your freedom era, and you are just so expressive and so loving and so fearless and all of the things. And so in my freedom area, I loved to be in the spotlight. I love to dance. I love to act. I love to sing. And somewhere along the way, I lost that. And I began to shrink myself, and I began to shrink my ideas. And it just kind of catapulted throughout life. And that smaller version of me, even though she worked really hard and she was confident at times, and she was just kind of maneuvering and surviving through life, she wasn't ever fully expressed. And so I think that what's been happening is that as I've been shedding some of my old layers, as I have been doing a lot more healing and restoration work, and really just tapping into this version of who I am, and just discovering this version of who I am, this much more evolved and loving and grounded and rooted version. This voice has become available. And I'll talk about it because it's really the anchor into why I created Rooted and Rising, which was I started to find my voice. And I actually remember the day that that happened because I was, y'all see this visitor in my video? um, I remember the day that that happened because I was having a conversation with someone in my kitchen, and I just noticed that some of the self-talk, right? I started shifting what I was saying to myself, and my I was really intentional about shifting my internal dialogue. And as I began to, number one, become aware of what I was saying to myself, number two, really listening into some of the thoughts that were being brought forward, acknowledging them, and then shifting that narrative, right? So if I was like, oh, I made a mistake, I was like, oh, but mistakes are always made, and you're beautiful and you're loving, and I love you. And even during this process as well, I started writing love letters to myself. And I went through a pretty significant transition in my life. 2024 was riddled with a lot of uncertainty for me. I had a lot of different changes in my life that I will talk about. We will get it. You will get all the tea, friends. You will get all the tea because it's relevant. But I've been on this journey for a while. Let me say that I've been on a journey of discovery. I've been on a journey of healing for really about, I want to say, roughly about 12 years, if not a little bit more. I started working with a healer and a clairvoyant just to kind of begin to open up my heart more, because I noticed that you don't know what you don't know. And I just felt like something was missing, and I couldn't really find what it was, but I felt like there was a piece missing. And so in my quest to find that piece, I met a teacher, an amazing woman that is a clairvoyant and intuitive ascension coach, and started working with her. I had been really, you know, anchored into just a variety of things. And I mean, I've done practices where I've done leadership development courses and kind of like, the spiritual route. And I've kind of done a combination of both of the things just to just continuing on this quest, right? Because I just felt like something was missing, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And as I have been searching and looking and trying to understand more about myself, I began to heal parts of myself, but things are always happening, right? And so when things are always happening, it doesn't mean that the triggers are always gone. And sometimes you really are only getting to that topsoil, right? You're only getting to the top portions, and you're just clearing out the top portions. So you think that you're like, oh, I'm healed, but you have not gotten all the way down into that inner child. You have not gotten all the way down into that shadow. And once you get into that version, then you are really into the work, right? And so as I've been just excavating, right, that has been a significant word for me this year, is excavation, because I have had to dig out and dig up just the remaining remnants and clear out so that I could be here with you all, but to become this new elevated version and to share so much more with you all. And so I hope that that gives you a little bit of a taste of what is going on. And I have my notes here because I wanted to make sure that I share a little bit more about what to expect. You're going to hear about really trusting your intuition. We're going to talk about reclaiming our power. I'm going to have some guest speakers on that are creatives, that are leaders, that are teachers, that are musicians, that are poets, that are architects, that are designers. I know a variety of individuals, and I think that all of their medicine is so relevant to the world that we are living in right now. And so I'm hoping that as you hear these stories, that you are inspired to take action, right, in your own lives, action in your own communities, and action in your own heart. That we are really here to connect back to ourselves, and in doing that, in connecting back to our highest self, our true self, we're able to connect better with each other. And there are so many narratives, and there's so many podcasts, and there's so many stories, and I wanted to create a really loving and healing space, but I wanted to be creative, and I wanted to be fun, and sometimes it's going to be emotional as well, because I think that that's a part of it. And sometimes you might get a little bit angry, and you might not really like, and sometimes it's going to challenge us, right? I think that some of these conversations are going to challenge us. I talk to different individuals all the time, and sometimes I'm challenged in my thinking, but I'm open and I'm willing to really understand the multitude of possibilities that are available. So, Um, once again, I wanted to welcome you to Rooted and Rising. I'm so grateful that you're here to share this space with me. I hope you will share with your friends, like and subscribe, and make sure that you are tuning in weekly to chat with me, to hear what we're talking about, because you will not be disappointed. I promise you, you'll walk away with some gems. All right, y'all, peace and blessings.